Okay, so hello. This presentation is about basic internet research skills, and the idea is to try and make you a more critical and informed reader of online media, and to help you think about the information that is presented in websites and decide whether you think this is a credible or a trustworthy website. Does it contain good or bad information? Remember that anyone can actually publish anything on the internet, so it's not like when you read a printed book where somebody has carefully edited the book. You need to make your own decisions about whether websites contain trustworthy information, and it's a very important skill for students these days. So the first thing that you need to look at is the URL. So the URL is like the web address that you find in the browser at the top of your web page. And it's broken into three parts. So the first part is the protocol. The protocol is either HTTP or it's HTTPS. Now the S actually stands for secure, so if it's HTTPS, it is more trustworthy because you have a secure connection between your computer and their website. The second part of the URL is the domain name. So you can think of the domain name like the title of the website. And you need to think, does this domain name match the information that is actually provided in the website? So for example, this one is called Breaking News English. You would expect that the website contained news articles, new kind of news articles. If the name of the domain and the information in the website match, it's more trustable, it's more trustworthy. Finally, we have the extension at the end. We have different extension names for different types of websites. So this one is a .com, which means commercial, so it's related to business. You may know that a lot of websites end with country codes. So you've got the country code extensions, IQ for Iraq, for example, .co.uk for the UK, .de for Germany. So the most trustworthy sources are HTTPS in the protocol, and for extensions, the most trustworthy extensions are .edu, .org, and .gov. Now the reason for this is that these extension types are tightly controlled. So not everybody can get a .edu or a .org or a .gov website. So those organisations that have them protect them. They are very careful about the information that they put on their websites so that they don't lose this type of extension. So if you know that .edu sites are more trustworthy than other sites, how can you search for .edu websites on their own? Well, in your Google search box, you can write the thing that you're searching for. So for example here, Martin Luther King. And then if you write site and a colon, like a double dot, and then edu, then Google will only find .edu websites for you. So you can make a more specific search just for that type of website. So my next tip for you is to try and make your search as relevant to your topic as possible. So is the information in the website what you wanted to read about. So think to yourself, is the information in the website answering your question? If not, be more specific with your search. So, for example, if you're looking for information about Martin Luther King, but you really want to know about some quotes, you write in your search box Martin Luther King plus quotes. So you have a little code there that will help you find information about Martin Luther King and about quotes. And it will only give you websites that contain both of these. So you're more likely to find the information that you're actually looking for. You're making a better search. Okay, so here we have some final tips for finding a credible source online or trustworthy information online. First of all, you need to think about the author. So who wrote the article? A lot of articles, you may know, don't have an author at all. So the first thing you need to think about is, does that make it trustworthy? Well, I would say that if you have no author, it's less trustworthy. Secondly, if you do have an author, you can actually Google the author. You can see what other things has this author written. Does this author have extremist views? You know, if the author has extremist views, it means that this particular author is not going to give you a very balanced opinion. Another thing to think about would be the audience. So who has this article been written for? Is this website or this article aimed at school children? Or is it for students? Or is it for adults? Has it been written for a particular interest group? So if you know who the audience is, you maybe can expect the type of information or the type of language that you'll find inside. And finally, the date. How old is this article? I would suggest that if your article is over 10 years old, it's probably too old. It would be a good idea for you to do another search and try and find something that it's a bit more recent. So in class tomorrow, we are going to practice using these pieces of advice to find some credible, trustworthy sources online.